You've made up your mind, you want a Mazda 3 and that's that. But which Mazda 3 is the right one for you?
With 6 model variants to choose from, and not to mention a manual or automatic transmission and 2 body styles, there really are a lot of options for buyers.
There are, and we've got all 6 of them here to help you choose which is the right Mazda 3 for you with our Mazda 3 range review. Let's find the sweet spot. So Tees, we've tried to keep things relatively simple here. We've got all 6 versions from the base model Neo all the way up to the SP25 Astina.
We actually couldn't have made it any simpler. We've opted specifically for the hatch, which is the majority seller over the sedan, and they're all automatic transmissions because, let's face it, the manual buyer base is pretty small.
Yep, the 3 on the left have the smaller 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, while the 3 on the right are more expensive and they have the bigger 2.5-litre engine. So it'll be interesting to see how they stack up on the road.
Yep, but before we go for a drive, let's check out the specs for this one, the entry-level Neo.
Again, keeping with the simple theme, we've listed some of the key specification items on the back of each of these 6 cars.
That will make it easier to keep track of them as we go along.
So good bits include Bluetooth phone and audio streaming and autonomous emergency braking, which will stop the car if it doesn't think you're going to at low speeds.
And that is something that you don't get often in an entry-level model. Neither are alloy wheels, and this one has 16-inch alloy wheels. But that's it. There's some more written on those windscreens.
Yeah, we'll get to that later, but first let's have a look inside this one. So as you can see, you miss out on a big sexy colour screen in here, and that also means you miss out on the MZD Connect rotary dial system, and there's no rear view camera. You can option one if you want, which will be put in up in the rear view mirror, but at least rear sensors are standard.
It really does look like a base model in here, and it feels like one too. These seats are cloth trimmed and they don't feel very nice. The steering wheel as well, quite hard plastically. Doesn't feel good. It does, however, get the AEB system, and that's standard right across the range, even in this cheapie, which is a big plus. Let's take it for a drive.
No, wait there. Before we go for a drive, let's check out the specification levels in the other cars with this engine, and then when we get to the middle point, we'll compare engines.
Yes, I did want to see what's on that next windscreen.
Yep. The only difference between this one and that one on the outside is LED front fog lamps. It's what's inside that counts with this one.
You get a bunch of extra safety kit in this car over the base model, like blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and though the Neo does have the low-speed AEB system, the difference with this one is that it also works in reverse. It's also got the touchscreen, the rotary dial, and some extra touches like leather-wrapped gear shift, handbrake, and steering wheel. And this is your point of contact with the car, so this feels so much better. It's got paddle shifters and an auto-dimming rear mirror, so you get quite a lot for your $2,400 more. Is this a Touring? Yes, no. If it wasn't written there, it would be hard to tell because these two are pretty much identical from the outside. The Touring does get auto folding side mirrors as well as auto headlights and auto wipers. But can you tell just by looking at it? No.
For your $2,400 premium over that model, this car gets a few comfort and convenience items, including leather seat trim, dual zone climate control, and a space-saving electric park brake. The driver also gets lumbar adjustment, and we both get illuminated vanity mirrors. How are we looking?
Ready to roll.
All right. We'll drive the 2-litre first, then when we come back, we'll get in the 2.5. So under the bonnet of the Neo, Max and Touring models is a 2-litre 4-cylinder which goes unchanged as part of the 2016 update.
So there's been some exterior styling changes and a lot more kit has been included. Surely something else has changed under the bonnet.
Yeah, Mazda has added a torque vectoring system which it says should make the car a little bit more agile in corners, but really it's almost imperceptible. What you notice more is that they've adjusted the suspension and steering to make it a little bit easier to live with, less sharp essentially.
So how about noise insulation? Because it would be fair to say that Mazda doesn't have the best reputation for making quiet cars, and it is pretty noisy in here.
Yeah, look, they say they've made a few changes in terms of trying to make it a bit quieter in here, but still you do notice a lot of engine noise and a lot of road noise.
So how is that engine? It seems to be making a whole lot of noise and not really going anywhere particularly fast.
Yeah, how about you check it out for yourself? Shall we swap?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do have to rev it pretty hard to feel like you're getting anything out of it. It's smooth enough, but it is quite noisy. The gearbox is good, but it just doesn't feel like it's got a whole lot of grunt.
And what about the way it drives? I mean, Mazda's obviously tried to make it feel a little bit more livable around town, but has that come at the expense of it being fun?
Look, it does have a bit of that zoom feeling. The steering's quick, you do feel connected to the road, so it's not that bad at all. I am looking forward, however, to driving that 2.5 just to see how it compares in terms of enjoyment.
And all models with the 2.5 litre engine get 18-inch alloy wheels, which should set it apart from the cheaper cars in the car park.
Yeah, you're right. These three look totally different to those
Come
three.
on.
No, but seriously, this may have the bigger engine, but it misses out on some of the kit that the Touring gets despite being more expensive.
Yeah, you miss out on leather seats, you don't get those illuminated vanity mirrors, no sunglasses box, and no driver's lumbar support either.
You do, however, get keyless entry. And I'm assuming that we're going to take this one for a drive?
Yeah, you're driving, are you?
Yes, I can't wait to see how the 2.5 goes.
Okay.
Keyless entry, that's a nice touch, and push button start, which is standard right across the range. But hit that button and see what the 2.5 can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more like it. There's definitely a lot more grunt here, and the bigger engine really seems to suit this size of car, even though there are many other smaller cars with much smaller 4 cylinders.
Yeah, a 2.5 litre is a pretty big engine for this size of car in this day and age, but you can't argue with the figures. I mean, it's got 138 kilowatts of power and 250 newton meters of torque, where the little 2 litre only had 114 kilowatts and 200 newton meters. So it's about a 25% bump, and it's even more noticeable when you hit this little trigger here.
Oh, yeah, that really suits this. Have to admit though, engine noise is still a bit grating and you can still notice the road noise. And with those bigger wheels and skinnier tyres, there's a bit more of a firmer ride going on as well.
Yeah.
But in the driver's seat, I tell you what, it is a lot more fun with that bigger engine.
Well, you better give me a go.
Oh, but I'm having fun.
Yeah, there's no way I could go for the 2 litre when this is an option. And considering it doesn't cost that much more, I'd definitely be putting an SP25 model on my list.
So you're not worried that the bumpier ride is going to get a little bit annoying over time?
No, look, it might, but I'll put up with feeling a few bumps in the cabin over that wheezy 2 litre engine any day of the week.
Yeah, this does argue quite a strong case, even though it misses out on some of the nice bits that the Touring that we just got out of had.
Yeah.
So I think we should get back and take a look at some of the other specs and see what they've got up their sleeves in terms of kit. Well, that certainly ticked quite a few boxes, and it's only $400 more than the Touring.
Yeah, you miss out on a couple of things over the Touring, but you do get that 2.5 litre engine.
Now this is the big price jump in the range. From the SP25 to the SP25 GT, $4,300, but at that cost you do get quite a few little extra goodies in this cookie jar.
Yep, including LED headlights and LED daytime running lights, as well as that, LED tail lamps.
It's a big step up in here. You've got leather seats. The driver's side is electrically adjustable, though both front seats are heated. There's a Bose sound system with 9 speakers and a couple of other cool things as well, like road sign information in your sat-nav system and driver attention, so the car will let you know when it thinks you need to take a break.
Teagues thinks the SP25 GT has a lot of equipment, but the SP25 Astina has all the gear.
So this is the top of the pops then, and clearly you would never mistake it for any of the other 5.
Yeah, okay, this one's got different wheels on it, which it wouldn't usually have.
This one though has a few key features, like the LED headlights are adaptive, and these ones are better viewed from inside.
Yeah. In this version, the driver's seat gets memory settings and extra seat adjustment, but on the passenger side, it's still manual adjustment. The driver also gets extra safety equipment, including lane keeping assistance and lane departure warning. And the AEB system will work up to 145 k's an hour.
At more than $35,000, this is pushing the price envelope just a little bit too far.
Yeah, and it's got some equipment that I personally don't really need or deem necessary, so for me, I'd have to go for the SP25, not the GT or Astina, just the base model one.
Ooh, Mazda's chucked quite a lot of kit at this update, and they're tipping that the Max will be the best seller. I think they're pretty on the money with that one, but I can't go past the 2.5 litre engine, so I would have to agree with you, the SP25.
Sounds like we found the sweet spot.